Hey guys, this is Everything Fondant, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Destiny themed cake. For those of you who don't know what Destiny is, it's just a video game that you can play on the Xbox or PlayStation. So the first thing I do is just cover an 8-inch square cake in this bluish gray fondant. This is the color that I thought looked the most like the Destiny theme, and so that's why I went with this color. And this is just going to be the background color for the rest of the cake. So once I get it covered, the first thing I do is just start on the Gamertag where it has the player's name and all the little emblems that are beside the name. This particular person who this cake is for had a gray background for his name, and so that's why I'm doing it gray. And I'm basically just doing a long rectangle. Once I have the background cut, I'm going to start on the emblem, which is kind of a interesting red symbol that has 2 diamonds and then 2 triangles. And I'm going to try my best to emulate what that looks like. So I cut out the basic shape of the symbol, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue it to the gray background. I'm going to do it all the way to the far left. Because that's where the symbol shows up in the game if you've ever played it. And all I use for glue is just water, and I just brush a little bit underneath where the shapes are, and it's good. So once I have the emblem on, I just rolled out some white little strips of fondant, and I'm going to begin to shape those into the Gamertag name, just spelling out with the different letters what the Gamertag is. This part can be a little tedious, so you want to have lots of patience when you do this, but I think it turns out great if you stick with it. So once I have the name spelled out on the background, I'm just going to use some yellow fondant and roll it out into some numbers that I'm going to put right beside the name. Obviously if you play the game, there's 2 sets of numbers over there, and this is a birthday cake, so I'm just kind of doing a play on that, and I'm going to do the age that this person was turning instead of what the numbers really mean. So I don't play Destiny, so I don't really know what those numbers mean, but if you do, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. This person is turning 29, and so I just did a number 29, and that's what I'm going to put on there. And here is the finished Gamertag. I also added a little diamond that is usually beside the numbers as well. So the next thing I'm going to make is actually the symbol for the Trials of Osiris logo. And so I start off with yellow fondant, and I'm just going to cut a square out of the yellow fondant, and that's going to be my background for that symbol. After I have my yellow square ready, I just roll out some black fondant, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the shape of the eye that you see on that symbol. This is going to be the outline of the eye, and the yellow is the background of it. So once I have my black strips cut, I just go ahead and lay it out on top of the yellow square, and I'm just going to make the outline of the eye. I'm just overlapping the 2 strips into an eye shape, and then I'll just trim away the excess that is kind of hanging over the side. So I have the basic eye outline, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut the shape for the inside of it, which is kind of like a crazy sun shape, and that shape is also black, so I'm going to roll out some more black fondant and go ahead and cut that shape out as well. I'm also going to cut out a circle in black fondant as well, and that's going to go right over top of the sun shape. So I'm going to go ahead and place the sun shape right in the middle of the eye. Just use water again to secure it, and then place the circle right on top of that, right in the center. And the last thing I do for the Trials of Osiris emblem here is just cut out a small white circle, which is smaller than the black one, and I'm going to go ahead and put that right in the center of the black one, and that will be the completed emblem. So the next thing on the agenda is to make a little flag from the game. Anytime you win in the game, this little flag that I'm making here pops up. It's kind of like a victory flag is what I would call it. I don't really know the official name, but that's what I would call it. So just roll out some red fondant and cut a rectangle, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut a little triangle out at the bottom, and that's going to be the bottom of the banner. Once I have the banner cut, I go ahead and start cutting out some of the details that go on front of the flag, and basically it's two swords that are crisscrossing, and it has two triangles in the background, and also some other random shapes, but first here I'm going to start off with the triangles. The triangle in the middle is a little thicker than the one on the outside, and so I started off with a thicker shape on the inside and then very, very thin strips around the outside. They are a little bit more difficult to work with, but you know, again, if you have patience, just keep on doing it and it will turn out awesome. So now I'm gonna work on the two swords that crisscross right in the middle of these two triangles, and I'm basically just doing a free-handed sword shape, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just do two of them. The easiest way I've found to do two matching shapes is just to take the first shape and use it as a template and kind of cut around it for the second one, and then just kind of fix it and trim it as it needs. So once I have my two swords, I just go ahead and crisscross them right over the triangles, and I will take some water and just kind of tack them into place. So once my swords are in place, I go ahead and work on the final three shapes at the very bottom and just lay them out, go ahead and glue them on as well. And this is the finished product of the banner. So I have all three emblems done that I'm going to put on the cake, and so I go ahead and brush some water on, and I'm going to start with the Gamertag. I'm going to put that right at the bottom, and then the next shape will be the Trials of Osiris logo. And I'm going to put that a little bit closer to the right side, just so I'll have room for the little banner right beside it on the left. And then I'll go ahead and put the banner on as well. So this is the basic design of the cake. In order to add a little more detail to it, I'm just going to use this little embossing tool and make a square pattern around the sides just by drawing lines vertically and then also horizontally. I just do that pattern all the way around, and then once I'm done with that, I go ahead and make a different type of pattern on top. And this one is a little bit more random. It kind of reminds me of the background screens when you're playing Destiny. It's just kind of like a globe type of shape, the lines from like a globe. That's kind of what it reminds me of, and so that's the look that I was kind of going for here. And this is the finished product. It's simple yet pretty cool, I think. Thank you so much for watching my video, and as always, God bless and have an awesome day.